The video camera's running. And your name is?
Patrick McGucan.
McGlucan. That's G-L-U-C-A-N?
M-C-G-U-C-H-A-N.
Welsh, you said?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
Welsh origin.
Okay. And you're studying philosophy at the University of East Anglia, you said?
Yeah, first year philosophy.
Okay. Now, I was just talking to you about some concerns that have been raised about student safety at the UEA.
Yeah.
I mentioned just fair weather. You said you've heard of another couple suicides or something like that?
I've heard that there's been a few suicides in the lake overall.
Okay.
People walking into the lake and committing suicide by that means.
How-
I'm not sure of the details though.
Okay, but one of them happened this year, you said?
I believe one of them did happen this year. Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? You might be aware that there's concerns nationally. This isn't just the UEA. There are concerns nationally about students, for whatever reason, taking their lives. What do you think's going on, Patrick?
I believe that students can feel quite isolated within flat life, but I mean that is a step up from living with parents and having everything done for them. I think the need is that students have to be more proactive about finding help and seeking sort of guidance, and hopefully what is established at the moment will be able to stabilise them within their uni career.
Okay. Do you think the workload might be a factor? Pressures around workload?
Some of the structuring of deadlines within first year courses can put a lot of pressure onto people. The fact that you have to do modular deadlines and that your deadlines will always be at the end of the semester rather than having a break over the holiday to do it, I think that can pressurise people. I think it depends a lot on the degree as well, because some degrees will have supervisors that will breathe down students' necks a little bit more. But yeah, so I do think coursework, workload within uni life can have a serious effect on how people are doing. And if they can't structure their time well, then that will mean that they will have depression and anxiety about deadlines coming up.
Okay. How do you cope with pressures?
I think making sure that you have people around that will support you is very vital. At the moment, I live in a house full of my mates.
Yeah, 6 of you, you said.
Yeah, 6 of us. So they support me, which is really important.
Yeah.
I think that last year I was living in a flat, and it can feel quite strange being with strangers, but it's just important to make sure that you go out and build those connections to support yourself.
Okay. I suppose the other side of that would be the peer pressure that you can come on you, and there are concerns around drinking, the drinking culture and this kind of thing, people feeling like they have to do. Yeah. What would you say to that?
I think drinking culture can be quite difficult. Obviously, there's a certain idea that alcohol will make people feel more sociable and will take away the kind of anxiety gates that stop people from exchanging and communicating. I think the wise choice is that if you are to drink, that you know your limits, that you understand that alcohol is still a drug, and it will have an effect on your body, and that regular consumption will mean that you will become more run down, you will become lazier, you won't be as productive as you want to be, and you just won't make the most out of your uni career.
Okay, I think that's well said. What about pressures in the society generally? I don't know if you... Brenda from Bristol. Do you remember Brenda from Bristol?
No.
She was on telly, she was in the news quite a bit when Theresa May, Prime Minister Theresa May, announced the snap election in 2017. This Brenda from Bristol was on TV saying, "What, another one? Not again." And she was genuinely distressed at the thought of it. I mean, and I think there's not just on students, but on society as a whole. There are all these pressures, Brexit and Trump, and all these different things that may be causing people a lot of anxiety. I don't know if you noticed in the news last week, they were talking about the Norfolk and Suffolk NHS Foundation Trust, which is like the mental health trust for Norfolk. They're in special measures. So they're not coping, and they're the ones who are supposed to be helping the rest of us to cope. What do you think about the ambient, let's call it the ambient or wider environmental pressures on students?
I think, obviously, when you become a student, you are taken out of the bubble or family bubble, and you are put into a whole new environment with a lot more pressures and external factors that you have to comprehend, because it's not, I mean, all these factors will affect you, and you have to be, like, you have to educate yourself on how to, like, overcome it. I think stuff like, obviously stuff with mental health and the lack of funding towards it is a major deal. But I think it's going to become much worse when the general idea is that prescriptions are put forward in front of counselling, because counselling is just a more expensive measure, and it always will be, because it requires manpower rather than
the talking therapies.
Yeah.
The talking therapies. But you think they're better, the talking therapies, or the drugs?
Therapies are much better than having prescription medication. The kind of idea is that you will treat depression and anxiety by putting a kind of plaster over it.
Yes.
And people who do take medical prescriptions will have a high rate of going back to the disorder.
It's an interview. You're now on camera. Say hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Say hello.
No, what is it? What's it for?
We're talking about uni life.
Oh, right. Did you just come to the door?
Yeah.
Oh, right, cool.
I'm a freelance journalist.
Oh, that's cool. How'd you be one of them?
I'll give you some background in a bit. Okay. I'm very interested in as you might gather, I'm actually a member of the trust, the NHS, Norfolk and Suffolk NHS Foundation Trust. So I'm very interested in this issue of the types of services, whether it's talking therapies or drugs that are on offer. Okay, I'm just wondering if there's anything else. You say you're studying philosophy?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you a favorite philosopher, Patrick?
Probably the slave philosopher Epictetus.
Epictetus, I think.
Epictetus, yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Okay. He was a slave, was he?
Yeah. He was a slave one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm familiar with the name. I'll have to refresh my memory.
Yeah. Stoic.
Oh, a Stoic. One last thing. You mentioned this family support. You rely on that a lot yourself? You're in touch frequently with your folk?
Not as much.
Yeah. Okay, you can say it on camera. Hello, Mom.
No, I think there was some family issues that I had.
Oh, okay.
But obviously, I'm now here and I'm supported by my house.
Yeah.
And I'm supported by uni.
Okay.
Which is nice.
Your extended family.
Yeah, my extended family. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much, Patrick.